Hi, welcome to Hidden Parts of the Podcast. My name is Shawne Mone, and today's special guest is the Speaker of the House, Adrienne Jones. She's going to join us to talk about politics, why she ever became interested, and why she is so committed to the state of Maryland and public service. Hi, welcome to Hidden Parts of the Podcast. I'm Shawne Mone, and today we have a special guest, Madam Speaker, Adrienne Jones. Welcome.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. I know that you're very, very busy, and I appreciate you taking time out to stop by and hang out with me for a minute. Today's episode I'd like to title Powered but Empowered, because everybody's watched your journey, and we're proud of you. And you've been breaking glass ceilings since 1997 when you first started, and I want to let you know that I'm proud of you. And the people that are watching are proud of you as well. So today I just kind of wanted to talk about life in your shoes, and when you started and aspired to become a delegate and then on to speaker. You care to elaborate a little about that walk for you?
Okay, for one thing, I've been in public service just about most of my life. I worked for Baltimore County government for 34 years. I love public service because it's about doing for others. And after I graduated from UMBC with a degree in psychology in '76, when Jimmy Carter was president, he had a program that, with the acronym CETA, Comprehensive Employee Training Act, you had to be unemployed and have a college degree. And so I took him up on that, and that's how I got into Baltimore County. And from there, I did a lot with the community. I even went to people's homes that were victims of hate crimes and like that. So, because those type of things that a lot of times people don't want to talk about, and so I literally give them that help. Along with the police officer, we would do that. I headed the Office of Fair Practice and Community Affairs, and I worked for 3 or 4 different county executives, so very familiar with as far as the public. I wrote a column for 10 years in the Baltimore Times called The County Perspective, which I highlighted people in the community that oftentimes no one hears about. They're doing good things, but and so I wanted to make sure that was highlighted. And when I came to Baltimore, and I came to the General Assembly, because one of the delegates in the district had passed away in 1997, Joan Neverdon Parker. And I was reluctant at the time because my mother was very, very ill. If anyone has, you've been taking care of an ill parent, she was in a nursing facility, and I said, well, I couldn't do that right now because I have 4 brothers. I'm the only daughter, and so and I felt that I could not do it at the time. And so when she did pass, that's the only time I said yes. And since then, I've been in the General Assembly. And when I first got it wasn't my cup of tea because I saw not too many of us, and I saw when I first was when the first session, I saw a lot of white gentlemen get up, and basically, from my perspective, they were talking loud and saying nothing. And so, at the time, I was on various appropriations committee, where the chairman at the time was the late Howard Pete Rawlings. So he was my first chairman. And I served on that committee a whole lot of years. I chaired the capital budget. I chaired the education, so you name it, I chaired. And so when the longest serving, I shouldn't say longest serving speaker, when there was a vacancy, no, not when a vacancy, when we had, and this is from 2003, because I was sworn in by another speaker who lost his race. And so in 2003, the speaker at the time, late Michael Bush, he said that when the Cass Taylor, who was the speaker prior to them, lost his race, he called me 8:30 on November 20th. I remember that November 20th, my birthday. And he said Cass lost, that he was going to go for speaker. Would I be his speaker pro tem? And I told him yes. And for 16 years, we were speaker and speaker pro tem. And he was the speaker and I was speaker pro tem. And in 2019, he passed away, and I wasn't really thinking about going for a speaker because there were a couple other people, and I said, well, let them, out this for, and the members could not decide on either one of them. And so I was just sitting in the back of the room, and I said, okay, it's going to be over with. And because and I always joke by saying that I didn't think I was, because if I was, I would have worn another dress. I just put on this green thing. So I was sitting back around, so let's just be over with. And so, and then I was selected. And so that was on May 1st, 2019, and I was sworn in. And I've been Speaker of the House since then. And
doing a wonderful job.
Yeah, I love like I said, you gotta love public service, and you gotta understand people's personalities. And like I said, and there's a lot in particular in our community. They're doing a whole lot of positive things. A lot of times people don't hear about them.
Right, right.
And
well, can I ask you a question? You mentioned Appropriations Committee, and you mentioned pro tem. So for the person that's watching that has no idea about what happens in an Appropriations Committee, can you tell me what that is?
Well, the appropriation, like all committees, they have subcommittees, but that's what's considered the budget committee. And you would you actually literally work on the state budget and present that to the chamber. For the House side, on the Senate side, it's budget and taxes called, and on the House side, it's appropriations. And so that's, like I said, my first chairman was the late Howard Pete Rawlings. So he it was good having him there during the time before he went on to pass. So. Yeah, and then they have other subcommittees. They have health and government operations. They have, numerous subcommittees on there that, and that people can serve on, that are within that committee.
Yeah, I was about to ask.
Not just anybody coming up and saying, it doesn't work that way. So
it comes from the delegate's office to the floor. How does all of your issues or topics that you discuss
on the floor is when we vote on bills. So the bill's going, it's going to be introduced in the committee, and then then it comes to the floor. And and then it has, after it has had a hearing, because the public gets to have input on the various bills. And so when it's decided by the committee, and these bills come to the chambers to be voted on.
Okay. And pro tem, what's that?
That is there's the Speaker of the House, and pro tem is like temporary speaker. But,
so if you had to say vice, kind of like vice or assistant.
It's not.
I know it's pro tem. I was just trying to.
Yeah, it's the Speaker of the House, and the second involved would be the Speaker pro tem.
Okay. Okay. So as a little girl, did you ever just have a desire in your mind that you would seek out to be a public servant in this capacity, or just in your daily?
No, I know I love, dealing with others, and like I said, going to schools and talking with little girls and boys and girls, and I would go to different communities, and I would tell each of them that each of them has something that they're gifted in, and a lot of times they don't see it within each other, and they say, well, I don't think I can. So I asked a question. I said, do you like whatever that subject matter is? And they said, yeah. And I said, well, that's what you're good at, that type of thing. So a lot of times, not saying that I don't know their home situation, but there may have been the fact that no one had said that, you're doing a great job, great appreciate it. 'Cause a lot of times they don't get it, because I have spoken to different groups, and I can read people. I look, and I'm saying when I can read people, I don't think.
But you get a feeling.
I can look in, somebody's eyes. And when things are being talked, and I see the reaction, and then I'll try to bring them in, and I said, I bet you would be good at that. And then they never thought about it themselves. And I said, yeah, I can see that you. Then they'll smile, and because they feel good about it. I don't know what their home situation is, and I said, I always tell them, and I firmly believe, even the worst behaved kid has something that they're gifted in. You just got to find it, get it, and you got them, so.
That's an excellent point. That's an excellent point, because in our society, it's just so easy to cast people away because of maybe their appearance or their behavior. But Baltimore all your life?
Baltimore County.
Baltimore County all your life.
I was raised, are you familiar with the Arbutus Cemetery, where that is?
No.
Well, this is in, it's a historical African-American community. It was called Caldensville at the time, because more of my family was right next to Caldensville AME Church, and across the street is the Arbutus Cemetery. And that's one of the historical communities in Baltimore County. So,
okay.
And I went to Arbutus Elementary School, and that was something in the 6th grade, because hopefully our young people now don't have that experience, but it was in the 6th grade, and the students were supposed to break out and do square dancing. And majority, there are only about 4 or 5. This is back in.
I was about to ask you how many.
5, yeah, that was when I was back in, probably in the early. Well, probably not saying the 50s, because I was born in 54. So probably early 60s, early 60s, 61, like that. And so when they had to partner up with somebody. And sometimes I was the only black person in that class, and I'm staying there by myself. But because one of the boys, and I'm not gonna say his name, but he said, my mother said I couldn't. And it would mean that he couldn't dance because I was black and he was white. And so, but the person who came to my rescue was my Jewish teacher. He became my dance partner, because he saw me. I'm just standing there and affected nobody, So he did give me dance. So I always remembering that. So that was good. But yeah. So.
Do you have many struggles like that, or memories from school?
Yeah, we knew certain places we couldn't go, and that's why, and it still didn't. I thought it was not fair, and so we. I belonged to various organizations as I got older, and Woman Power Incorporated, Nobel Women, like all those, and they sort of, they were, persons that broke barriers. So, that's why I like to write. That's why I did the 10 years of working on that. So. Because I think that there's a lot of good things going in our community nobody really shares, and that's why I always, when I did that column, I wanted to make sure that people knew that. So
for now, people that are doing great things, what resources do they have right now that you could speak of?
When you mean in terms of research?
Community workers, people that may need funding for certain things for the community. Do you have a starting point that you would recommend for them if they're out?
They can do if they know what it is. A lot of the people come from community associations. They have a community person that chairs their community that they'll come maybe to hearings either on the county level or on the the state, depending on what they're looking for. And people can, or there's something that they would like to see in a bill. They have that voice that they can talk to their representative, because they're more directly involved with their community and talk about like now what's going on. So right now we're in the interim. We start session in January 2024 session, but at the meantime they need to and also then people, a lot of times I find people don't even know who their representative is. Mm-hmm. And they'll say, well, who's your representative? And they'll say the congressperson. If it's Quite Fume, that's what they'll say. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, what on the other level? And they said, oh. And I said, you must have him called. Do you know? I say you can look it up on the on the website, and it'll say who are my representatives. You put in what your address, and it'll tell you who they are and how to contact them. So. And I think the general public needs to realize these representatives were there in support of you, and they should be aware of any type of concern that you may have. That you don't have to do this by yourself. You just have to contact your representative, whether it's on the state, local level, like on the county level, state level, or the federal. They each have a purpose in terms of what area of concern that you may have.
I'm happy to hear you say that, because oftentimes you hear people say, we only see these representatives when it's time to vote. Yeah,
but I said, well, did you call them? These are your representatives.
Right,
I told
right.
them, I said, oh, I know. I said, yes. I said, these are, or I've gotten calls from when people wanted to be able to travel and they don't have their proper paper or something, and I said, well, call your congressman, senator. There's a lot of things that they can do. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times people will say, well, I never hear from them. I said, well, you had a concern. Who did you call? And well, that type of thing. So, I said that, they're there. That, the term public servant is not something that's just a word.
Taken lightly, right?
Lightly, yeah.
Yeah, and I will include the website that you referred to, where anybody could just log on and put their address, zip code, and find out who your level council people are, legislative people, etc. So that's really good to know.
I did a couple of forums when I had various community groups, and I had at that time, he was the public safety secretary. That was Stu Sims. Had him speak, and different ones so they can in the forum set. And we had the Randallstown Community Center. We used that, and various community groups will have people come in and speak. Our members, the 10th district team and others, because primarily it's 10th district around there, we'll do like a wrap up. We'll have our newsletters, because we send them out on regular basis. I do a weekly newsletter. My dad put it all together. But but the main thing, I guess the main message for our community is that you have a voice. Don't think that they're not going to call me back, or but you had to make that trial,
attempt.
And that attempt. And plus, like I said, everyone has something they're gifted in, and a lot of times people don't see it within themselves, and then sometimes that's why when I was saying talk to the young people, and sometimes they'll put their own self down, or they'll tease some other person. When I would talk to some of the classes, and I would say, don't do that. I said, what do you know what you have done, and how would you want somebody to do that with you? Oh, I didn't think about that, that type of thing. So, but we got more. Unfortunately, what you hear in the news a lot is all the negative.
Yep.
There's far more positives going on, and there's some people who are so humble that they don't talk about it, and that's the reason why when I did the 10 years of county perspective, highlighting the people, because they need to be highlighted. So
yeah, that was big, and it's true. You always hear the negative. It almost makes sense to have a hotline just for positive information. Just call this number for positive affirmations or something like that. Because you're right, if it's at the restaurant or travel, whatever, you always remember the negative but not the positive. And there's several communities that are out there that do a great job in the Baltimore County area as well as Baltimore City. Now, because your district is 10, do you ever have to work in partnership with other delegates from other areas for something specific to their need?
We have a caucus. We have the legislative black caucus. We also have a women's caucus, and also we have some other types of more even smaller type of caucuses that they meet and they talk with each other on certain things. So
okay, so the trip to Annapolis, you literally lived there for what, like the entire time that session?
It's 90 days.
90 days.
It's 90 days.
Do you love it?
Love staying there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better than having I do have a trooper that back and forth. I stay down there during the interim. We're in session, which is 90 days. I stay in Annapolis and I stay in places close to where the State House is, which is the oldest State House still in existence, built by slaves. So.
Wow. So can you correct me? I want to say someone said it was the White House at some point in Annapolis. Is that true? Was that?
No. What they were talking about is when George Washington gave up his commission, the State House serves as a temporary White House. If you go there, you haven't never been there.
I've been there,
but it's on the side where the Senate is. There's the room where it depicts him reading his resignation paper. It's there's a bronze statue, and there you'll see. We have a copy of his when he reads resignation speech, and that's what he did. There, yeah. It served as a temporary White House for him to be able to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I talked to various groups in the House chamber, and tell them about the history of what I do. They'll see the pictures all around the chamber that are all white males, and then. We do our questions. We take a picture up at the rostrum, and then we go in the room. There's a part of the State House where the original State House was, and that's where you see the statue of Frederick Douglass and there as well. It was served as a not temporary, but if you go there, they can see that, and across the way, that's when they see George Washington, and they can take steps. And upstairs is the governor's office, up there as well. So.
So you've had the privilege of seeing several administrations. It's unfair for me to ask you which one is your favorite, but is there a notable difference working for different administrations?
Yeah, I would say by having the first black governor, yes, it is.
I wanted to have you say that. I couldn't say it myself, but yeah.
Yeah. But he was familiar with, because he would come previously, even when the prior governor was governor, he would come and testify on bills. So we're very familiar with the process that we've had. And we have first black governor. We had the first, even his lieutenant governor is a woman of color. And she and I, we served on appropriations together. When I was capital budget chair, she was my vice chair. Plus you have the attorney general. He's from black, Anthony Brown. He's black. And you have, who else we have that has not been, well, they had the first woman period with controller. That's Brooke Lehrman. And I'm trying to think of anybody else. Those are the.
I can't think of anybody either.
Yeah. So, but we do talk to. I was with them yesterday. It was at the game, the Orioles game. I mean, not the Orioles, the Ravens game.
Yeah,
rather.
But they won. Yay.
Yep.
And that's why you're wearing your purple, right? Yay. I don't have a purple dress.
Yeah.
But you guys have to get together at some point and just celebrate each other, because it's been a long haul. And not to say that we've arrived, but we've accomplished a mighty, mighty good thing. So I know there are plans for the future. Changing the governor now is, he has an initiative for, I just heard about students. He wants students that are not interested in college to have the opportunity to work alongside, like an apprenticeship or something like that with state government. He's making changes in terms of interns and making it more readily available for people to work in alongside people in certain capacities and fields. He's working to increase. No, the minimum wage is going to be increased, right? So he's a supporter of it. Yeah, that's all done. Yes, but
I don't think it's all done, because it was done in stages, So.
So you get another. They're expected to raise the wages again in 26, or when are they expected to? Because they just raised it to 15. Can you educate me there?
Because they keep, and sometimes it goes back and forth.
Yeah.
I don't want to give you incorrect information.
Yeah, it's really hard to keep up with.
Yeah. So they'll. That's what happens during the interim, and then prior to session 24 session, what both the chamber, the Senate, and the House, and the governor. We're going to be. This is his first term. In terms of what, because there may be something aspect that I have heard from the community that probably makes sense and you will share. So that's why we do talk to each other, which is a good thing. Not a lot of states that have that capacity. Either they're trying to get rid of black people, or they're trying to not be as supportive. So I think it makes a big difference when you have a governor that gets it. So
yeah, that's big. So when you have interest and you try to work alongside the people that you're supposed to work alongside, and things just don't work out, how do you deal with that? So you, like, if you said about the initiatives that you guys are working on, and you meet with other people.
Yeah, it's people who are assigned. There's committees that subject matters are in that particular committee. They'll have the hearing in terms of a bill that may be associated, etc. And that's how and it gets heard before a committee, and then it gets voted on, that type of thing, if it's in that format. So
the passing of recreational marijuana was a big win for Maryland, and it seems that it's turning out to be pretty lucrative in terms of taxes that they're paying for the state. Was that something that you were in agreement with passing? Well,
it doesn't matter whether I was in agreement or passing, it's a bill that judiciary worked on, so I don't know, and the public had a weigh in on. So it's not something that, okay, we're just doing it just to do it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so,
Yeah. No, I was just trying to understand the process to the door.
Yeah, because you have a hearing. The people can come, their bills be heard, and then if it's past the committee, then it comes to the floor. To be voted on by the members. Some people vote for something because they like it. Some don't. We don't hold it against them if they don't, because they're this is you're free to vote whichever way you want. Because a lot of times people who aren't supporting, they don't kill the bill, because you would have to have a whole lot, because it got out of committee, so that's in its favor, for one thing. When it comes to the floor, it just matter, and you feel to respect the work of the committee of origin. You can't just say, well, I don't care, because you probably weren't even at the hearing to know what all the details are. So when I started writing and making sure that our community was not left out, and in my years with Baltimore County government, and then when the opportunity due to death of one of the delegates, and I guess, as I would tell you before, I wasn't going to go for it because of my mom. But after, not until after, and I think it's and then I know it sounds corny, but I love public service, and I mentioned that before, but I think that the questions that people ask, because they don't realize that you can get scholarships, for students, all of us, where there's a senator and the 3 delegates, and a lot of times people don't just ask. They will think that, well, and one of the things that really gets me, sometimes they'll equate what happens in the General Assembly similar to what's happening in Washington. I said, oh, no, we're really different. And that's on a different level. One's federal and one's state. So, and yet once you tell them, I don't be mean to them. I said, nah. But if a student says something, I said, do you know what you just said? That type of thing. Oh, I didn't realize. I said, yeah.
But the scholarships that you're referring to that are available, they're available for students that wish to attend school in Maryland.
Yeah. Yes.
And to do that, they just simply write you, or is there an application on your website?
There's they know, because the schools tell them.
Okay.
The schools tell them.
Okay. Yeah, and there's a vetting process, and you approve a certain amount, a certain number of individuals.
No, I'm not going to turn anybody away.
That's good to hear.
But they have to apply, and some have served as pages, during the General Assembly. They live in Annapolis for a week, and when we're in session, and then they will. Their role is when we're in session. It could be something like getting some water or something like that, but it gives them the opportunity to hear about the bills and what is going on, and because sometimes they will ask afterwards, sister, I think I heard about that before, and then they'll ask questions, not during when we're in session,
when
but
it's
after,
proper.
when it's afterward, and they'll live down there during a week, and then we'll get the next set just during the session.
And that's an application process as well.
Yeah.
And that's probably through school, not directly through your office.
Yeah, they will know. They will know, because we have the page coordinator that he does that, and I have to sign all the documents for them anyway, and then the Senate president does it for his side, so.
Okay. Wow.
But the schools are aware of them, so if they're not, but they do, because we get quite a bit, and they enjoy it, and they some during session they may get something out of the printer to get to the delegate on the floor,
Take it
things
to
like
him.
that. So.
Oh, that probably would be exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they learned, and they said they stay down in Annapolis. I think it's right across from the State House, so right over from the State House. So. Okay.
Yeah. So this was an excellent opportunity for me to get to know you. I thank you for giving me the time to chat with you a bit. You empower many, but then some, like you said, are just quiet or very humble that may be listening. If they have a desire or a dream or something and they feel discouraged right now, can you just give them something to feel empowered by?
I think everyone had something that they're gifted in. And if they think about that, just look within themselves. And a lot of times people say, well, that's not me, I don't know. Yeah, it's there, but you have to, for one thing, you got to be able to, like yourself. That's the
and know yourself.
And know yourself. And some of our best representatives or people people who, cause a lot of times I ask them, they never thought that they would even step foot into the State House or anywhere in Annapolis, and all they need to do, if they are not sure of themselves, just ask them simple questions. What is that you like the best to do? What if you were to introduce yourself to someone, what would you say would be your asset? What is something that people would like to know? That type of thing, And because sometimes people will say, "Well, I don't think I can," and I said, "Yes, you can. Yes, you can." And for those who may have been from a child to teenager were told that they couldn't, and they would in their mind think they can. I said, no. Every single person has something they're gifted in, and just a matter that just have faith in yourself, and usually is those types of areas that they like and never thought about. That's something that they could do even more so by expanding,
That's true. And that advice speaks to middle-aged people as well, grown adults, like real grown adults. Yeah, I'm 53 years old, and I've just tapped into something that I was afraid of, and to be honest, still afraid of, but I'm open to learning and growing. So it definitely speaks to everybody.
Oh yeah, everybody does. You just have faith. It's within you. Never say you can't. Can't is not in my vocabulary. I said,
Mine
yes, you
either.
can. I said, yes, you can. So.
Yes. Well, I thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you for watching us. This is Hidden Parts, the podcast. And again, I'm Shawne Mone, and we have a special guest, Madam Speaker. And we invite you to like, subscribe, share, but come back. Till next time.
Hi, friends. I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. Please remember to subscribe, follow, like, and share. You can also find out more about us, the Hidden Parts podcast, as well as watch this recording and many others at my website, www.the-inner.me. Bye.